Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Young Justice Outsiders, Episode 4. So I'm actually getting to this a little later today than I was planning on, but there's a reason for that. I recorded my first, session of Ori and the Blind Forest, a Let's Play for the critically acclaimed game that will be starting this Wednesday on the channel. So yeah, get ready to check that out. I know a lot of people have been waiting for that, for me to get to that since it was gifted to me. So that is coming. But in the meantime, we do have an episode of Young Justice Outsiders. And last time, the issue with Markovia and the mission there was kind of wrapped up. It didn't go according to plan. Everything really kind of fell apart. But in the end, they did manage to save someone. At least one person. This zombie girl, who's really fascinating to me. She apparently has excessive healing powers. She has the ability to pass them on to others, and she can create these like plasma-like force fields as well. So she was saved. We also saw that Prince Brion had been, his metagene had been unlocked, and he's been kind of pushed out of Markovia because while his uncle was found to be the bad guy and was outed as a bad guy, the heir to the throne, Brion's older brother, decided it would probably be best for everyone, including his younger brother, for Brion to just kind of leave. And he even asked Superboy, please take care of him. This shows that he does care for Brion. But because of that, he can't have him there. Not with the metahuman trafficker stuff going on, not with just everything that has been happening lately. It's not a good spot for him to be at the moment. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure where this is going to go next, but I am interested. I am very much interested to see what they do going forward, because we've kind of finished off our first arc. But there's definitely a lot more going on with this. We still haven't seen Darkseid. We still haven't seen just everything this is going to be building towards. Excuse me. But hopefully we'll get a lot more of that in this episode. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I already mentioned this in other redirects and afterthoughts during this the first 3 episodes of this season, but I want to bring it up again because I really want to make a point of it. I am really glad that this is turning out to be so good, that this season is turning out to be so well written, well paced, and given good characterization and depth to the heroes we already have as well as the newer characters. Because, as I mentioned before, Season 2 dropped the ball a little bit. Season 2, I know that it ended up being canceled and all, but it dropped the ball and it did a lot of things wrong, especially with the time skip at the beginning of the season that just really, really did not work. And again, the time skip that we had with Season 3 here with Outsiders actually was done in a much better, more well-handled way. So I'm not against time skips in general. It's just the Season 2 one was terribly done. But either way, so yeah, there was many other issues with Season 2 as well, such as certain character points, certain plot elements, and things I'm just not going to go into again here. But I'm so glad that Season 3 is doing things right. We have a main focus in the entire thing going on with the metahuman trafficking. we have Darkseid behind it all in the end, which we do already kind of know. Because let's be honest, Darkseid was shown at the end of season 2, and on top of that, the opening intro kind of sequence shows Apocalypse. It makes a very big point of showing it. So it's very clear that Darkseid is, to some degree, behind all of this. We just haven't really seen him yet this season, and we haven't really seen exactly what he's doing or why all of this is going on. But I guess we'll find out. Either way, yeah, this episode specifically was very good, showing kind of the aftermath of the first arc of this series. We see, or this season rather, we see that Dick is kind of being extremely dismissive. I want to cover this first. Being extremely dismissive towards the, I don't know what to call them. Because I think earlier I called them stragglers during the reaction. But it's like, I don't know, this sounds so bad to call them that. It sounds rude, almost. And I don't want to say exactly victims either. But you know who I'm talking about and everything. Dick is just being extremely dismissive towards them and basically saying that they shouldn't even be focusing on them. And I mean, he does get called out in the end, but I'm just wondering why. Why is he being like this all of a sudden? At the end, it kind of implies that maybe he's just afraid of trying to connect with people again because of all of the splitting up that has happened recently, and just he doesn't want to view this as another team thing. But still, it's just like there's a lot happening that needs to be addressed with that, I feel, with just how Dick is perceiving a lot of this. So we kind of see how everyone's handling things. The doctor, whose name I cannot remember for the life of me, she's just kind of handling it, I feel, the best. She's just kind of blending into society, being a normal person, living a normal life as best she can. She has lunch with Jeff, and they're just moving on in a way. Then we have the newly dubbed Halo, this young girl who has joined, well, is staying, I should say, with Will and oh my gosh, I know her name. What? Artemis. Her name escaped me for a moment. It bugged me out. But they're not entirely like comfortable with it. They're allowing it, and they're okay with giving her a home for the time being, but they want like a more permanent solution as well. I mean, for her sake and for their own. So we see that obviously Will is trying to get Dick to do something later on in the episode, which blends in actually really well, and I like how it blends in to the other part of the story with Dick being dismissive towards everyone. But we see that she's kind of acclimating to things. She's learning English a lot better. She's starting to remember bits and pieces of her past, but isn't revealing it. I don't know why. And Fate apparently senses this old soul in her, which could mean a number of things. I have no idea what that's in specific reference to. That could mean quite a few different things here. Either way, she's just kind of trying to acclimate, and I like how she came to realize why they were just sitting there watching Zatanna and her father. And then it's like once he puts on the helmet again, Naboo takes over and he heads out. They have to comfort Zatanna, and it's like, that's why we're here. It's like, I just really like that moment. But the one who's handling it probably the worst of the three, I'm just going to call them stragglers again for now, is definitely Prince Brion. having basically been banished from his home country, um, he's not okay with it. He's completely just overwhelmed by everything that happened and extremely agitated. And Superboy and Miss Martian even kind of said he's kind of like how Superboy used to be. And I could see it. I could definitely see it. But Connor is trying to talk with him and trying to get him to do these small things to help him, well, understand that he's very agitated, as well as just trying to help him calm down and relax a little bit to, well, help him, you know? And so he's trying to even just help him understand, like, what it means to clean and fix up a motorcycle and stuff. Because Brion's like, this is just a piece of machinery. And it's like, it doesn't need you. And Connor's just like, take this, clean this, and then you'll see what I mean. And I mean, I get it. I'm not big into like that kind of stuff in general. I'm not big into cars or motorcycles or machine work or whatever. But I at least understand like exactly what Connor means here. I get that. It's just I'm personally not into that. And so yeah, a lot of the episode does take place with this entire the Harper family and Dick chasing down Brick Skane, who are trying to steal all of these goggles and stuff from the warehouse. Basically by pretending to be the drivers and stuff to ship them out. And that's where the big thing with Will confronting Dick about his dismissiveness comes into play. The action and stuff in this episode, honestly, while good, takes a back seat to everything else that's happening with the characters. I think that's the most important stuff with this episode, and honestly with this season so far. Yes, it's had some good action. It's had some really good superhero stuff, too. Especially with Halo and her powers, and as well as the entire thing with the metahuman trafficking and turning them into these monsters that has given Jeff a bit of PTSD, which he has worked his way past to a degree. But it's like, there's definitely some superhero stuff, typical superhero shenanigans going on. But at the same time, it's very character focused and focused on the depth of the characters. Both returning and new, and I like that. Even this episode with the Harpers, like you're not going to see them probably as main characters throughout most of this. They're probably not going to be like the major players of this season, but it still gave enough effort to them in this episode to make them feel like real characters and stuff. And it's like they come across as people. More so than just their superhero personas. They're people. And I like that. I like that this show is doing so much for its characters, because that was another thing that Season 2 did wrong. It did really bad things with a lot of its characters. Miss Martian and Superboy are two very notable examples of what they did wrong with that. The entire Aqualad thing with him being a double agent, I also don't really think that worked too well. There were just a lot of issues with Season 2, and again, I'm not going to get into all of that right now. Especially if you guys had watched my Season 2 reactions back on the older channel and all, like you know what my feelings on a lot of that was. So... But yeah, I mean, if you didn't, if you are newer, then I apologize, and those channels and stuff are gone thanks to YouTube's copyright bullshit. But yeah, just putting it simply, I did not like Season 2 as much as Season 1. It just had way too many issues. And so far, like I said, Season 3 seems to be rectifying a lot of that. Season 3 seems to be making up for Season 2 and doing so much better. And I'm super happy about that. This is what I think Season 2 should have been like, just in terms of its quality and storytelling and pacing and whatnot. But again, this is just the 4th episode, so it could go any way. It could go downhill a little bit, but I'm really hoping not, for obvious reasons. I'm just wondering exactly when and how they're going to integrate Darkseid's part into this. Because I don't think they should do it until at least halfway through the season. I think that it would be too early otherwise. They could have hints of it here and there, besides obviously just the opening sequence. But I don't think they should actually reveal Darkseid again until the middle of the season at least. Maybe, heck, a mid-season finale would be perfect for that. But either way, tell me what you thought of this episode down in the comments below. And well, one more thing I forgot to mention because it skipped my mind. When Zatanna reunites with her father has like got the full beard now and he's gone gray and stuff. Does that remind anyone else of Hiroshi Sato from Legend of Korra, Season 4, Book 4? If you remember, in Legend of Korra, Hiroshi Sato, Asami's father, he was a bad guy in Season 1, and he was imprisoned for his actions and stuff. And we don't see him again until Season 4, where his mustache and kind of graying dark hair has now turned completely white, and he has like the full beard and everything. And it's so reminiscent of that. And in the end, he ends up leaving again. He ends up dying, but he ends up leaving again and making his daughter, Asami, really upset about it all. And it's so fucking reminiscent of that. Which is a very good thing, by the way. It is a very good thing to make me remember anything from Legend of Korra, to make me think of anything from my favorite series of all time. And I think it was exceptionally well handled here, too, with Zatanna and her father. Them just having a bit of moment of reuniting, an hour, every year. It apparently happens every single year. And again, at least Naboo gives them that. At least he's willing to give them that. It would definitely be nicer if he could give them more time, but, you know, it's Naboo. He's not the nicest god. Yeah. But either way, as I was saying before I remembered that, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles,